Hi, and welcome to Memory Keeping Monday, a free weekly class hosted by twopiesindabucket.com. I'm Garden Girl Jen Gallacher, and today I'm going to be focusing on using stickers on your layout. First thing we're going to do is start assembling this page, and then as we go along, I will show you how I have manipulated some stickers to make them a little bit more my own. So the first thing that we are going to do is start with our title block, and I have pre-cut the pattern paper so that this process will go a little bit faster. So this blue paper is by Bella Boulevard, and it is actually winter paper, and I'm using it for a spring layout. So don't feel like you have to use a paper just because it's for winter. You can use it for lots of different things. This is a die cut that I've cut with my silhouette machine. It is a silhouette shape that you can download, and I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to it. And I'm just using my glue runner. It does have some delicate pieces, so perhaps you'll want to use a glue pen or something a little more gentle, or you can run it through a Xyron machine if that's what you prefer. So the silhouette machine cuts very easily, very intricate designs, and I thought this leaf was kind of conducive to the spring theme. So I have pre-printed some journaling on this craft cardstock, and just to distress it just a little bit, I am going to rub the edges with some brown stamping ink. And for this particular technique, I use pigment ink. The pad usually is a little bit softer, a little bit more juicy, which gives the edges a little bit more of a distressed look. Now I want to add a border underneath this strip, so I am going to take my Fiskars border punch. This is the scallop sentiment punch, and I'm going to go ahead and punch my border. And I do that, and there's a couple of different ways to do that, but I flip mine over to see exactly where I want the border to start. There's a lot of different ways to use these particular punches, and then I'll just punch through, repeating the pattern each time until I have the full scalloped edge. And then I'll trim it down just a little bit with my paper trimmer. So now you can see I have a nice scallop border. I'm going to add adhesive on the bottom here. And then one designer tip is as you are laying down your words onto your sentiments, be sure that you are centering the scallops. You can always come back and trim off the extra. So we'll go ahead and add that to our block. Now I have some additional pink paper. This is from my little shoebox, and I want to add a strip here across the top, but instead of just a regular strip, I'm going to create kind of a banner end. And to do that, I just cut in about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then I cut from corner to that notch. And that just creates a nice bordered edge. So we'll go ahead and add that to our title block. You could also rub that piece with stamping ink if you'd like, but it's up to you. So that just creates a nice kind of different looking edge rather than a straight edge. Now for the title, I have cut another die cut shape using my silhouette machine. Sometimes I like the look of cardstock rather than maybe a letter sticker, but you can do whatever you want. And to add this, I will just use a glue pen, and I will write on the back of the sticker with glue. I don't mind using a tape runner for thicker die cut shapes, but for something this delicate, you'll definitely want to use a glue pen or whatever technique you have for these thinner, more delicate items. So we'll just add that there. So there you have the title. All right, let's go ahead and do this particular part of the layout. So we're going to add some paper. This is from the new Echo Park paper, this Not Graceful collection. And it's a nice neutral brown. And then I have a stamp that I'm going to use from Hero Arts. It says, "You make me feel right at home." And I like adding stamped sentiments to my layouts. So So I'll go ahead and ink up the stamp. And then I'm going to just stamp very carefully on this craft cardstock. And then I'm going to trim it down. And I've pre-trimmed it, and I've rubbed the edges so you can see what it's going to look like. And we're going to add that right across the top of this border strip. Now I got some really fun paper to go with this page, and it's some new American Crafts line from CHA, so you'll definitely want to get your hands on it. It's really bright and colorful. And it has the super hot hexagon shape that's really, really popular right now. It's double-sided, and it's called Seedling Conservatory. And what I have done is I have pre-cut some of the hexagon shapes from the paper. You can use the paper as is, but this is how I like to use the paper. And we're going to add some of these hexagon shapes to this bottom collection, or rather this bottom rectangle. So I'm just going to use some glue dots, and we'll adhere these down. We'll put one right on the journaling stamped block. And then we'll just start adding them to this rectangle. And when you're using a hexagon shape, you want to match up edges. So to cut these, I left a thin white line around each piece, just to give it a little more room for me to manipulate it. Now this particular hexagon pattern is not a straight hexagon pattern, so the edges will not match up perfectly, but you can get the general idea of what you want it to look like. Now I want to dress up this blank part of the stamped edge, so I'm going to wrap some blue baker's twine from My Mind's Eye around the strip just a few times, and then I'll tie it in a knot. I like this particular baker's twine. It's from the Fun Day collection. It is actually, instead of being a color with a white, it is 2 tones of blue. It's just something a little bit different. And then we'll use another glue dot to stick that stamp strip back down. Alright, now let's go ahead and put down our photo block. This particular paper is the strawberry paper from the new Echo Park Soda Fountain Dots and Stripes collection. It's a nice kind of pinkish color. And then I've pre-cut a photo so that it will fit. So I've pre-trimmed this out. I usually do these kinds of steps before I start my project so that I can make the process of designing go just a little bit more quickly. So we'll add a little photo corner to this particular block, and we'll add one to the bottom block as well. Now I also grabbed a few of the tags for this particular collection, and we're going to add one of those tags to the top, but the first thing I want to do is I want to run some ribbon through the top of it. So I've just mitered one of the ends, and I'll just tie it into a knot. I liked the green because the green was in the leaves of the die cut, and it's repeated. I like to repeat colors. And then we're just going to stick that tag behind the photo. So just slide it in so just the top part is showing. Alright, now we're going to do the sticker block, and this is from the 6x6 pad of another Dots and Stripes collection from Echo Park, and this is where I'm bringing the green back in. And we'll add another photo corner to the top of this block. Alright, now using some of the same tags that were in this collection, we are going to adhere them to the layout. First I'm going to trim the edge off of one of them, and we'll stick that one up to the edge of my layout. If you're uncomfortable doing that just free-handed, then use your paper trimmer. And then we'll just barely trim off the edge of this one as well. And we'll add that. Now I'm going to mount my stickers on these tags, and I want to show you a couple of things that you can do with stickers. Now this little flower is a little bit dimensional. It has dimensional adhesive on it, and it's from the same collection, which makes it easy to match. I'm going to give it a little bit more adhesive because I'm going to place a button on top of it. So one thing that you can do is match pattern to pattern. There was a flower on this. Let me take it back up so you can see it. There's a little flower on the watering can. So I'm going to add actually a sticker on top. So look for ways that you can represent the shape again. And then to embellish it a little bit further, I have a button that I've tied with twine. And I'm going to add that to the center of the sticker button. So one way to alter a sticker is to add a button. So there you can see just a little bit more dimension. Now I also have a butterfly from this particular collection, and I want to add a little bit more dimension to this, so I'm going to take some vellum and a paper punch butterfly, and I'm going to layer the paper punch butterfly on top of the sticker butterfly and add a glue dot or adhesive right in the center there and just carefully layer it on top. Now at the moment you can see the glue dot, and that's not very attractive. So one way to hide that is to take some of that baker's twine we were using, and you can wrap it around a few times and then tie it at the top, and that will help hide the adhesive. So tie your knot at the top and it will look like an antenna for the butterfly. So I've manipulated two stickers, one by adding a button and one by adding vellum. So look for ways that you can add some decoration. You could use glitter glue or other things like that just to give it a little bit more dimension. We'll trim off the extra baker's twine. Now you can see the butterfly. And then we'll mount the butterfly sticker onto the floral tag. And we will fold up the vellum butterfly shape so it gives it just a little bit more interest than just lying flat. And then for this last and final sticker, I have just the little blue butterfly, and we will add that as is to this particular part of the layout. So there you have a nice spring layout, manipulating stickers. I've added tags as well as some hexagon shapes. Thank you for joining me today. You can find the complete supplies for completing this project at 2pieceinAbucket.com. Join us next week for another Memory Keeping Monday tutorial.